These days, the narrative is that transgender people will come into bathrooms and abuse little girls. The supposed purity of the victims has remained stagnant. There are no princesses. Little girls are also kinky. Your kids aren't straight and as narrow as you think. Good morning. It's 3 p.m. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to yet another video that if the world had even an ounce, an iota of sanity in it right now, I would not have to make. However, we're here making it. So if you've been on this channel for a while, you probably recognize this face. This is Alok Vaid Menon, famed trans activist, influencer, non-binary activist. I have had many annoyances, grievances, and critiques of him over the past couple years. I think I've made 2 or 3 videos over the years about him, but this video is actually not about that at all. Some really disturbing posts have resurfaced in regards to Alok, and I am gonna say I don't know how I missed them, but I actually do know how I missed it because this has been heavily censored, and people who talk about this have been banned off Twitter. I don't know what kind of pull he has at Twitter to make that happen. And you guys know I'm not the person to pull up old receipts and point out things that are offensive, that weren't offensive then, but are offensive now. But when it comes to potential predatory behavior, when it comes to comments about children, I think that's a different ballgame, and I have no problem calling that out. And frankly, after seeing this, I am absolutely more revolted, disgusted, and offended than ever that Alok has this huge platform, that he's constantly platformed by celebrities and hailed as like a thought leader in the trans community. I don't want this to be a leader in any community that I'm a part of. So it started with this meme, or a quote rather, that I saw going around Twitter recently. These days, the narrative is that transgender people will come into bathrooms and abuse little girls. The supposed purity of the victims has remained stagnant. There are no princesses. Little girls are also kinky. Your kids aren't straight and as narrow as you think. And this is allegedly a quote from Alok. So I saw this and I thought, how can this be real and this person can just get a free pass? Like, how is that a thing that's happening? So I dug deeper, searching for the credibility of this post to make sure it really is something that Alok had said, and it got 10 times worse with context. Yeah, I would say 10 times. And we're going to get into all that, but I do have to shout out the sponsor of today's video, the amazing Scentbird, who I've worked with in the past, and I absolutely love them. So Scentbird is an amazing subscription service for fragrances. I've been using them for years. This is not some sponsorship that I have never used before. I think they're amazing. They have top brands like Gucci, Chanel, Prada. They come in these amazing little compartments, which are travel friendly, all types of colors. It is only $16 a month. They're very flexible, and you get to pick the scents that you want every single month, so there really is no surprises about what comes in the mail. They also have quizzes you can take to get the perfect scent for you. I'm someone who's very much into fragrances, and those of you that have met me and hugged me, you know I always smell good. Not to toot my own horn, but Scentbird has really helped me over the years with that, because as someone who buys a lot of high-end fragrances, it's amazing to try them out at such a low price, because say this Chanel one costs, I don't know, $250. You're getting it along with others for $16. There's just no comparison. But of course, if $16 wasn't cheap enough, we have a discount for my followers only for $11 for your first month. If you're wondering what scents I got the Oscar de la Renta Alibi, Memoir by the Sea, and La Vanilla Vanilla Grapefruit. So thank you to Scentbird. You can click the link down below to go get your perfumes. But on to the video. So I dug deeper than just the quote floating around Twitter in an image, because who knows, and it actually is verifiably from a post on a poetry page ran by Alok called Dark Matter. He ran it with another non-binary activist named Janini. I cannot pronounce the last name. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. I'm not trying to be shady, I promise. I cannot pronounce that. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. So in this disgusting post on Alok's poetry page, if you can translate the psychobabble, first and foremost, it's essentially talking about the trans bathroom debate. Should trans people be in the bathrooms of the gender they identify as, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But instead of making the case that trans people are not harmful, or trans people are not out to, I don't know, like hurt kids, this post does the opposite. He says, these days the narrative is that freaky transgender people, or as they say, crossdressers, will come into your bathrooms and abuse little girls. I believe in the radical notion that little girls, like the rest of us, are complicated people. There are no fairy tales and no princesses here. Little girls are also queer, trans, kinky, deviant, kind, mean, beautiful, ugly, tremendous, and peculiar. So we're just going to stop there for a second, because this gets so much worse. I'm not going to make some outright declarative statement, Alok is a pedophile. I am going to say, for you guys to question what kind of person describes children as kinky. There's only one kind of person that does that. There's only one type of person that thinks that, first of all, and then goes as far as to write it to the public. The post also reads, "We also need to seriously overhaul the idea that there is a perfect victim anywhere," which is bordering pretty close on saying they deserved it if it happens to them. So you have a post about trans people in bathrooms where you then go on about how there's no perfect victim of little girls and how little girls are kinky. Like, what are you trying to say? Literally, what are you trying to say? I want to be very clear here. Alok has never been convicted of any crime. There is no evidence that Alok has physically harmed anyone in that way in his life. However, again, I don't understand what type of person has this on their poetry page. I'm lying. I understand what kind of person has this on their poetry page, and it's very disturbing. And the fact that this person is a supposed leading authority on trans people, as someone who's never transitioned, is a problem for me. And even though social media and Twitter is banning a lot of people who call Alok out on this, which I don't know, like, what am I risking or not risking by even posting this? We'll see, I guess. But if there's ever a hill to die on, it's calling this kind of bullshit out. I don't believe that the celebrities that boost Alok are unaware of this, because if you look at the top comments on Demi Lovato's recent video with Alok, many of the top comments are questioning why she would platform someone who calls little girls kinky and who has a post on their poetry page little girls. I mean, this post goes on to say, "The Exorcist is my favorite Snapchat of the cultural place of white cis little girls, and how the little girl in the movie is actually exploring her sexuality, and how it acknowledges that no one is a pure flower that can be corrupted." The little girl in that movie is not exploring anything. She's possessed by a demon. And I mean, in parts of that movie, there is really sexually explicit like scenes during the possession. But the fact that you can look at that and come away with that being some sort of commentary on little girls exploring, like, what are you talking about? What kind of sick person comes to that conclusion? And then to say that little girls are not pure flowers that can be corrupted, they absolutely are. All children are pure when they enter the world. It's things that can happen to them and adults that harm them that change that. And I'm not going to lie, it sounds a lot like this post is excusing when those harmful things happen to them because they're not pure and they're not a perfect victim and they're kinky. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like getting even more heated, like getting the receipts together and like planning this video is so much different than saying it out loud, because when you say it out loud, it's like even more sick. I also have to say that this is hearsay based on some, there are some Reddit threads talking about this and some threads on message boards talking about this, saying that allegedly there was an apology by Alok after this post was made. But that apology is nowhere to be seen on the internet. So that is alleged. I don't know if Alok did post the apology, but even more interesting is that after this post, the partner that Alok worked on a Dark Matter with, Janini, actually seemingly split from Alok and has closed all ties to Alok. So she stopped working on Dark Matter and then for the most part kind of fell off the internet. There's a few things here and there, but nothing with Alok. She does have a personal website where in her bio she lists all her credentials, her education, and different things she's known for throughout her career, but nothing mentions Alok and Dark Matter. It's interesting because when you search up Janini on YouTube, all the posts that have any considerable amount of views and the main things that come up are her work with Alok on Dark Matter. So you have something that is kind of like the peak of your career, what you're most known for, but you don't want to list it on your website. Seems a little suspect. Seems like there was a split there. I don't know if it was over this post or not, but girl, I would have cut ties as well. This to me is such a perfect example of the fact that if you play on the right team, you have the right politics, and you regurgitate all the talking points the trans community wants to hear back. You can get away with anything. They will brush anything under the rug and it doesn't matter. It's the same way that there are so many influencers on this website that are trans that I know some that have told trans kids on Twitter to kill themselves, that have scammed their followers out of tens of thousands of dollars, setting up fake GoFundMes for their transitions and then never get the surgeries but take the money. And then you have Alok, who has a poetry blog with these comments found on it, and these people are beloved and hailed as like the shining stars of the community, honey, and they just get, it's just like, can we moderate who gets a pedestal in this community at all, ever? This type of person should never be platformed by any community or any publication at all. But it's even a bigger affront to my sensibilities that it's the trans community putting this person out, knowing that we deal with stereotypes of being seen as predators or harmful or a danger to society in some way. Like here we have this person who we're lifting up and they are a potential danger to society. And I'll say that. No, has Alok been convicted of any crimes? I don't think so. But if you can read these types of comments that were found on Alok's poetry page and not think there's a potential danger there, like, okay, if anyone thinks it's not a big deal, would you let Alok babysit your kids? That's what I thought. Honestly, I really see Alok as a cancer to the trans community. Like, Alok goes around LA and... By the way, I've never even said this. I have multiple friends that are friends with Alok and are sort of in that like circle. Because, honey, everyone thinks the whole community hates me. That's just not true. It's just not true. Alok's MO is going around to as many celebrities as he can, infiltrating as many little celebrity circles as he can, and convincing celebrities that they are non-binary. You have the guy from Queer Eye who came out as non-binary and then just continued living his life as a gay man as if he didn't come out as non-binary. Nothing ever happened from it. You have Sam Smith. You have Demi Lovato, who that's even like more of a... All that's more so just annoying to me and just not as important as calling out the pedophilic comments, but that's obnoxious as well. So here's the deal, you guys. I don't ever do a call of action in my videos. I don't ever ask you guys to share videos because I figure if people want to share it, they'll share on their own accord. I'm not going to force anyone to share. However, I'm asking you, because this person is getting such a free pass and it's just not part of Alok's public narrative that there are these pedophilic comments in Alok's past, please share this video. Do not give the publications that are platforming him, the celebrities that are pushing him out there, any free pass in pushing this out. Alok is such a piss poor representative of the trans community. The trans community deserves better. As much as I criticize the community and have my gripes with the community, like, it makes me think of all the just beautiful, wonderful people I know within the community that deserve so much better than having this person representing them. So please share this video, make it known, spread the word. And that's that. The next time you see Alok in a celebrity's Instagram page, the next time you see Alok in a publication, comment, why are you guys platforming this person who allegedly says or thinks and agrees that little girls are kinky? Like, what is the explanation for that? Because any other person, if they didn't have this like woke shield and these people willing to excuse every action, would have to answer for why they said that. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well as my second channel. Follow my Twitter and Instagram, not my TikTok because I'm banned. And also don't forget to check out Scentbird, link down below. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. And one last shout out to today's sponsor and a reminder to use my code Blaire for 30% off your first month at Scentbird. It means a lot when you guys support the brands that support me, and Scentbird is definitely one that I stand by. So go check them out in the links down below. Bye guys.